All right, good morning everybody. How many of us are getting attendance for attending this session this morning? Everyone getting attendance? How many of you have been promised 2 attendances? No one? I thought there would be some incentive to be with us here. Dr. Shukla has given a very good preamble to perhaps what I'm going to speak about. In fact, she's spoken almost everything what I had thought I would speak about. So I need to change, and we'll change on the fly. So I just need some help if you can. I'm going to go down if you can just keep clicking. Right. What I'd like to focus on is what is the next big wave in technology. And I'm sure that that's going to be of interest to all of us in this room. Do all of us agree that 2009 has been a difficult year? It's a difficult year, right? Companies coming on campus is a very clear indicator of how difficult this year has been. So I'm going to switch to, hopefully the lapel mic is going to work. Now we've got, between Jagdish and I, we've got about 20 minutes, right, in which we need to wrap this up. So Jagdish said he'll take 10 minutes and I need to take 10 minutes. And the reason we want to end the session on time is because many of you want your break, and then we need to come back for an important panel discussion where we have a number of colleagues from our industry who are going to join us. So I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to focus on 3 or 4 things. One is I'm going to focus on where we believe the economy is going to be in 2010. And I'd also like to spend a little time in looking at where IT spend is going to be as well. That's important because if the GDP comes back, companies will come back to campus. Everyone wants to hire good talent, right? You all agree with me? Right. Okay, so I'm going to ask a few of you on what you believe is going to happen to the worldwide growth of GDP, and more particularly if your India numbers, let's get some views on where you think the GDP growth numbers for India are going to be 2010-2011. That's the first starting point that we should spend a few minutes on, right? If anyone wants to guess some numbers or know some numbers? 7.5, some more numbers. Some more numbers. Alright, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me okay? In the back? Okay, great. 7.5, what is? 8%. Who's betting 9? Anyone betting for 9? Right, so some people are betting for 9. 2010 or 2011? 2011, okay. Right, so 7.5% for 2008. Why is it important to have GDP growth at 8%, 9%, 10%? Why are these numbers important? If we grow at 10% every year, in how much time will we double the size of our economy? In how many years will we double the size of our economy? 7 years. Okay, that's a good one. Right, 7 years we're going to double up. You've understood how you've computed 7 years? Right? Yes or no, sir? Yeah. So all the guys who don't, they're going to lose 5 marks, okay? So you're going to explain to them offline, right, how you computed that. 7 to 8 years, you're going to double the size of the economy. What is the advantage of doubling the size of the economy? You want to attract FDI. What happens if you increase the size of the economy by 2 times? What happens? Okay, what is India's poverty level today? Poverty level. What percentage of our population is below the poverty line? Poverty line definition, right? You know, $1 per day. Yeah. No. Listen there. No. Sorry. Upwards of 20%, right? So 24-25%. So if we double the size of our economy, what happens to the poverty line? Decreases, right? So that means you will have approximately 12% of our population coming above the poverty line. What does that mean? Lots of more people can afford things, right? So if more people can afford things, then you need to make more goods. Then you need to offer more services. And what does that mean for the organized sector? More employment. So GDP growth is very important, right? And if you look around the world, what you will find is, you can see that global economy. I just click. You see different countries, and what you need to look at is the countries which are doing extremely well. We have a colleague of ours from China here. So China doing extremely well, and then India doing extremely well. If you just hold on to that chart for a minute. You'll find India, China doing extremely well, and then followed by some of the other developing economies. So we are doing much, much better than the developed world. So that's the first good news, which means that as our economy comes back, our ability to improve standards of living is substantial. What is the role of technology in improving standards of living? Just move to the next slide. The role of technology is fairly self-evident. Despite the fact that the economy is growing or not growing, the fact is lots of people are spending tremendous amount of time in developing PowerPoint slide decks. So you receiving more emails? Are you receiving more emails from friends or from your academic interactions, or from all of them? All of them, right? So lots of emails. So you're finding that information is growing. And there are lots of studies, and one study, and I'm not going to speak much, and my colleagues are going to speak more about, and other panelists will speak more about this study. Information will grow 5 times in 4 years. It's going to be a huge growth in information. How many of us know what is Twitter? How many of us know what is Twitter? Everyone knows, right? Twitter has become very, very famous, okay? So the amount of information that we have created in 2008, right, we're going to get updated numbers for 2009, is equal to 3 quadrillion Twitter feeds. That's the amount of information all of us have created. Huge amount going to grow, as I said, it's going to grow very, very significantly. So information is going to grow. Can you just move to the next slide, please, my friend? Yeah, thank you very much for moving the slides for me. Just keep moving, just keep going, right? And because we are seeing this huge growth in information, you need to be able to manage this growth of information. And if you need to manage, you need to spend more on IT. And you look at every analyst and they say people are going to spend more on IT in 2010 than they did in 2009. So good news. GDP growth going up, IT spend going up, information growth going up. So hopefully there's going to be good news on campus, better news in 2010 than 2009. Lots of areas where you see increase in spend. You see PC, server, all these areas. But as Dr. Shukla said, information growth is driving huge amount of opportunity within the storage industry, the industry to which I belong. Important thing to know, 2009 has taught a lot of lessons to us. And the lessons that this year has taught us is how to optimize and how to manage costs better. You agree with me? Right? Everyone was worried about how do I reduce costs, how do I optimize, how do I improve efficiency. And when businesses transform, one of the important things that happens is that there is a shift in terms of the way IT serves business. IT has to mirror the way businesses want IT to serve it. Right? IT is a tool, and this tool will change based upon business needs. As businesses transform, the tools will also transform. So IT architectures are undergoing a very, very significant change right now based on what we have seen in 2009, tremendous focus on cost optimization and efficiency. Right? In every wave of IT, we've seen that it's been driven by business. Why did PCs become very popular? You know, there was a point in time when organizations had one big central computer and they ran all of their business from that central computer. Over a period of time, PCs came into vogue. And when PCs came into vogue, no one ever believed that PCs would create such a huge impact in terms of personal productivity and organizational productivity. But what really drove the success of PCs? What changes happened in organizations that drove PCs to become successful? What happened to organization? What happened to organizational decision making? What happened to the way organizations started thinking? There was a very big shift in terms of management thought and management leadership, and that big change was in terms of empowerment and enablement. Organizations believed that they could serve their customers better and be more profitable if they empowered them. So they moved from a centralized organizational structure to an organization structure which empowered people at the front end. And as they did that, compute power had to be moved from the central computing device that they used to have somewhere, hidden in some part of the world, and they moved that computing power right up in front to the person who was serving the customer or serving internal or external customers. So empowerment and enablement within organizations as they transformed their business strategy drove IT architecture to change, and that's why we found that the PC industry is so very, very bad. And the same thing is happening again. We are at the cusp of the next wave, right? And the reason why we are at the cusp of the next wave is the cusp of the next wave is all about how do we optimize, how do we reduce costs, how do we improve efficiency. And one of the interesting things that we have seen over the last several years is that truly IT has not delivered on its promise. 70% of IT budget and only 30% truly benefits business. So if you are sitting in that organization, if you were a part of the finance department or you're part of executive management, you turn around and say, you know what, I'm wasting 70% of my spend. I need to make it more efficient. I need to make it more better. And you're going to see the next wave of computing, and we're all going to see that. And General KJ Singh actually did mention that. He said that you will see many, many technological changes and new waves in your career. And I can tell you, you're absolutely at the right time. We are seeing a new wave, and you will see a lot of colleagues talk about that new wave. So if you can just quickly go through the slides. So this is how we used to run our computers. This is how businesses used to depend on computing. Very, very complex. Just keep moving on. Just keep moving on, right? And that's what I just spoke about. Because it was complex, you know, we never got the efficiency out of this. So the new wave that we are going to see, cloud computing wave. I'm not going to speak about cloud computing. We have many, many colleagues who are going to speak about this next wave. We have seen all the earlier waves, right? Many of you may not have seen the impact of these waves earlier, but you're going to see the impact of those waves. And you've certainly seen the internet wave. All of you have seen the internet, right? All of you have enjoyed that. Now you're going to enjoy another ride, which is cloud computing. So what's cloud computing? How do you do it? How do you put it together? That's something which we're going to discuss at this conference. So I'd really like to pause here, and I just wanted to leave a few messages with you. One is that always when there is a challenge, there is an opportunity. Right? Whenever there is a challenge, there is a new opportunity. We see a new opportunity in front of us. And this new opportunity is going to help us become more efficient. It's going to help us to compete better. It's going to help us to succeed better. We have to find a different way of managing this huge growth in information that we are seeing and the huge appetite that organizations have to leverage this information, and as has been spoken about many times since the morning, to leverage that information to drive greater value. So I hope you're going to enjoy the rest of the sessions. There are many good technical sessions which are going to have very interesting technologies like virtualization, which you must attend those sessions. They're all sessions which are going to be conducted by industry leaders, very, very good technical people are going to speak to you around these sessions. And these are the many ways and components which you put together in order to help go and drive a cloud computing based architecture. So thank you very much. I need to let Jagdish speak for the next few minutes. As I promised it, we need to 10 minutes. So thank you very much.